The three largest tech giants that have transformed the internet, media, and society are Amazon, Google, and Apple. They have taken the consumers far away from traditional brick-and-mortar businesses by capturing consumers' spending. And among these three tech giants, Amazon has remarkably succeeded in various possible ways by presenting multiple product categories. At the same time, others struggled to work outside their zone of core competency. So let's find out more in this video. Each of the three companies offered a particular product for a specific segment of the market when they were founded. Apple sold personal computers, while Amazon sold books online, and Google provided a new way to search on the web. Diversification opportunities related and unrelated to these companies were evident as they expanded. It reflected a lot on their growth and where they are now. Diversification within the company's current business is a wise strategy that uses its assets, personnel, and services to create a new product or service closely related to its business at a low cost. This enables it to create a new revenue stream for previously unknown segments. Amazon has mastered the art of combining a small company's entrepreneurial culture with a large company's financial resources. The company can solve problems most other companies cannot. Gmail, Google Maps, Google Docs, YouTube, Android, and Chrome were just popular products Google created or acquired during the 2000s. There are many similarities between these products. There are several online services, like the original Google search engine. Among the exceptions are Google's Android and Chrome apps that let people access its online services. In addition to its traditional focus on selling online services, Google now invests in several moonshot initiatives to solve significant technological problems. As a result, Larry Page and Sergey Brin reorganized Google itself, creating Alphabet as an umbrella company for moonshot projects to fulfill this mission. However, Google hasn't had much success so far. The Google Glass project was a failure. Over the past 6 years, the company has developed impressive self-driving technology, but it hasn't yet been commercialized. Google purchased the Nest in 2014, but it has struggled to expand beyond intelligent thermostats. One of the robotics startups that Google acquired in 2014 ended up being sold because it couldn't figure out what to do with it. Page & Company seem to be overly concerned with complex technical solutions. An example of a challenging and exciting technical challenge is creating a new computer platform using a pair of glasses. The problem was never solved in a way that made a viable product. As the technology leader, Google's self-driving car project is widely seen as its most promising moonshot. Top engineers have grown impatient with the company's slow pace in getting to market. An Otto team of Google engineers left Google to find a self-driving truck company acquired by Uber earlier this year. Robotics is another critical area of computer science research. Nevertheless, it was never clear what Google would do with all these robot startups. Google seemed to think its best talent would be acquired first, and then the money would be made later. One of Google's moonshot projects or another will possibly produce a spectacular business success equal to the losses of the others. To date, Google's attempts to enter markets outside the online services market have been largely unsuccessful. Amazon's primary focus is to meet user needs. A fundamental aspect of Google's approach is the engineering background of Larry Page and Sergey Brin, who solved the challenging technical problems first and worried about business models later. Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, worked for several Wall Street firms before founding his company. This background lends him a more pragmatic perspective focused on building products that customers will pay for. At Amazon, Bezos has created an environment that fosters experimentation. Starting small and growing over time is an essential component of his success. When a company's CEO endorses an idea, it becomes a focus for everyone, wasting valuable time, resources, and money on ideas that don't work. On the other hand, Amazon creates a small team to test an idea and see if it works. As Bezos famously instituted, groups shall be small enough that 2 pizzas can be shared. However, Amazon doesn't spend a lot of time on internal testing. Launching early is more important to them than anything else. This method isn't foolproof. Amazon has had many failures, like its disastrous foray into the smartphone market. The company avoids wasting years developing products that don't meet customers' needs by releasing products as quickly as possible and taking customer feedback seriously. Why don't considerable resources often lead to innovation? As an abstract concept, the idea of minimizing bureaucracy, starting with small experiments, then expanding them if they're successful, seems almost too simple to be true. However, entering new markets can be surprisingly difficult for large companies. Over time, big companies develop cultures and processes geared toward the market where they initially achieved success. Throughout an organization, companies tend to establish uniform standards. Many projects at Google require the use of these tools. An online service similar to Google's Search or Gmail works well when created using that methodology. If a Google team wants to create something different from a search engine, the tools can become a hindrance. A similar point can be made about Apple. Designers play a central role in the company's development process, rather than engineers or project managers. The company is known for its elegant user interface. A user-friendly gadget like the iPhone or Apple Watch can be developed that way, but it doesn't apply to other product categories. With a minimal set of policies, Bezos has succeeded in making Amazon a flexible, modular organization. This has caused Amazon's internal culture to be somewhat tumultuous and balkanized. One Amazon engineer can't jump from one project to another like at Google or Apple. Some people experience stress at Amazon due to friction between teams from different cultures. Chaos can also foster innovation in a chaotic culture. New teams can use the tools and processes that make the most sense rather than feeling compelled to conform to company-wide standards. Amazon's organizational choices are significant because there are many opportunities for big companies to emulate startup characteristics. This can be seen in Amazon Go. Small startups would have a tough time pulling this off. The technology that makes the store work, cameras and sensors that track each customer's every movement and detect when a customer takes a product from the shelf, undoubtedly cost millions of dollars to develop. It will take Amazon years and millions more to recoup these investments since the company is entering a niche market where margins are thin. It requires deep pockets and a long time horizon that startups rarely possess. A century ago, high tech was on the web. Technically speaking, scaling a website from hundreds of users to millions requires large teams and many physical infrastructures, but it is not insurmountable. The reason Facebook and Google grew into billion-dollar companies is because of this. As a result, the next generation of innovations is more likely to focus on the physical world and conventional industries: apartment sharing, self-driving cars, retail stores, healthcare innovation, etc. Several car companies, including Google, Uber, Tesla, and conventional ones, are working on self-driving technology. Companies need software, hardware, sophisticated maps, and a strategy for navigating complex regulatory issues to succeed in this market. This combination would be difficult for an independent startup to manage. A way to deal with the problem is for big tech companies to acquire startups early on in their development. This will allow startups' innovations to be combined with big companies' resources. After Otto was founded, Uber acquired it less than a year later. A big company such as Google or Uber can stay on top of the curve by acquiring fast-growing startups, but it is expensive. The strategy doesn't always work either. After Google acquired Nest for $2 billion, it was supposed to increase under Alphabet, but instead it has struggled. The success of Amazon's entrepreneurial projects within its ranks is what makes the company so impressive. Unlike the competition, Amazon has created a process for nurturing entrepreneurial projects internally, so it does not need to rely on acquisitions as much. It will become easier for entrepreneurs to take on these projects as technology begins to infiltrate the real world. With that, we will bring this video to an end. If you enjoyed watching this, please consider subscribing to our channel. Leaving a like on the video and your comments also go a long way in showing your support. Till then, take care.